Welcome everyone. Today we are going to see sequence structure. I'm Shiva Shankar, 15 MES 1016 from BIT Chennai. Sequence structure contains one or more subdiagrams or frames that executes in a sequential order. Within each frame of sequence structure, as in the rest of the block diagram, data dependency determines the execution order of the nodes. Use the sequence structure to control the execution order when a natural data dependency does not exist and flow through the parameters are not available. There are two types of sequence structure: a flat sequence structure, a stacked sequence structure. Example for flat sequence structure is in the left hand side of the screen, and the example for stacked sequence structure is here. Flat sequence structure. Flat sequence structure displays all the frames at once and executes the frame from left to right. And when all data values are wired to the frame are available until the last frame is executed. It is a critical condition. When you add or delete a frame in the flat sequence structure, the structure resizes automatically. To convert the flat sequence structure into stacked sequence structure, right-click the flat sequence structure and select Replace with Stacked Sequence Structure. Stacked sequence structure. It is similar to the case structure. Stacked sequence, each frame is executed, so you see only one frame at the time and executes the frame 0, then executes the frame 1, and so on until the last frame is executed. Stack sequence structure returns data only after the last frame is executed. Use the stack sequence structure if you want to conserve space on the block diagram. To convert the stack sequence structure to a flat sequence structure, right-click the stack sequence structure and select Replace with Flat Sequence Structure from the shortcut menu. The sequence selector identifies and helps us to navigate through the available frames and rearrange the frames. Helps us to traverse through the number of frames available in the stack sequence. It will be like a drop-down box, the sequence selector. Okay, coming to the frame label. Frame label gives the number which shows the current stack sequence frame we are. There will be a left arrow and right arrow which helps us to increment and decrement arrows, called as increment and decrement arrows, which help us to move behind and far from the current value of the slide. The stack sequence to pass the data from one frame to any subsequent frame of stack sequence structure, use a sequence local terminal. To create a sequence local terminal, first you have to right click the stack sequence and select option called sequence local terminal. It will form a yellow backgrounded rectangular small box. An outward pointing arrow appears in a sequence local terminal, referring that data can pass through it. In the other frames of the stack sequence, you will find the sequence local terminal showing a downward arrow that shows that you can get the data from this sequence local terminal, the data which you had previously sent from the previous frames. Let's go to the code. This is a new file, and to create a stacked sequence, right click on the block diagram. In structures, you have flat sequence structure and stacked sequence structure. Let's do it. Flat sequence structure. To add a new frame, you can add two options. You can add frame after or you can add frame before. Let's go add frame after first. See, it is after. Now before. We'll add one more frame. That's it. It resizes automatically. Let's give two inputs. them something x y. Use an arithmetic operator here. We'll keep an arithmetic operator and see a function, how it runs through stack sequence. Input is connected through the wire to the addition operator. The result of this addition is given to the next frame by this operation. See, you have to click properly or else you will get this bug. Now let's add new arithmetic operator. Double click it to enter data. Add new arithmetic operator. Let's have null. Create a constant 2. We are in the last frame. Let's add an arithmetic operator divide. Creating an indicator which shows the result. Excuse me. Let's run this. Let's give some value for x and some value for y in this program. Okay, let's see the logic. Initially you have given 5 and 8. The first frame is addition. 8 plus 5 is 13. The next frame is it is subtracted by minus 5. Answer is 8. Next frame you multiply it by 2. 8 is 16. You divide it by 4 is 4. 16 by 4 is 4. That's it. Now let's go for stacked sequence. Right click on the block diagram. In structures you will find stack sequence structure. To add a new frame, right? I forgot to say one thing. To convert flat sequence structure into stacked sequence structure, right click on the flat sequence structure, replace with stacked sequence structure. See, it has been replaced. Okay, this is stacked sequence structure. Now you have to add new frame. Right click on the stack sequence structure, add frame after, add frame before, add frame after. We have added 4 frames, coming to 0 frame. Add inputs. Sorry. Let's add an arithmetic operator, addition. output is given here, and you can take it using a create indicator. Name it as add. The tick shows the current location of the frame, which frame we are. See, the tick changes to 1. Now add a new arithmetic operator as minus. This is error because we connected below the numerical value. Wiring matters in lab view. We have to be careful. What is the output here? This error occurs because in the previous frame we have already assigned the output value for add. We have to use a new output value. Let's add a new arithmetic operator, multiplication. Create next operator as divide. Create an indicator. Name it as divide. Let's give some values. Let's go through the step by step what we have in the frames. In 0th frame we have addition. In the next frame we have minus, subtraction. Next frame we have multiplication. In the next frame we have division. These are the 4 frames we have. Each frame has a common input x and y, 2 numbers, and the output is obtained from an indicator. Each frame has a output indicator, separate individual output indicator. You can't connect a same indicator as I explained before. Now let's run the program. Okay, let's give some big values so that we're good. Now to stop the program. Continue. See, the value changes immediately. Initially we have 5, 12, 5 and 12 going to the first frame. 5 plus 12 is 17. Where is 17? Addition is 17. So next frame is addition. Next frame is subtraction. 12 minus 5 is 7. It comes in subtraction. Okay. Next frame is multiplication. 12 into 5 is 60. Division. 12 by 5 is 2.4. And so we have executed successfully the stack sequence also. Now let's talk about how to convert the stack sequence into a flat sequence. Right click on the stack sequence. We have to first execute from the execution mode. Right click on the stack sequence, replace with flat sequence. See what happens. it is replaced with flat sequence. Same or logic is replaced. The output at each terminal is carried. Since I used a separate indicator which was in stack sequence. Main difference between stack sequence and flat sequence is the output in flat sequences comes only after the last block is terminated, same as stack sequence, but we have a single indicator in flat, we have multiple indicators in stack. Okay, let's talk about one key feature of the stack sequence. We'll create a new VA. The key feature is add sequence local. This is a yellow rectangular box through which you can send a value from one frame to another. You can delete it. I'll add here in the 0th frame. Let's have our arithmetic operator. 2 inputs. Create an indicator to show the output of the sum. Now what I am going to do is I am going to take the output of sum and give it to the local variable sequence local. It is going to carry the sum's output to some other frame. Let's go to frame 1. See, it is now down arrow. In frame 0 it is up arrow. Up arrow indicates the data is going out of this frame. Down arrow indicates it is available, you can get the data from here or next frame also. See, in the next frame also it is down. Okay, now I have to create a new arithmetic operator minus. Let's give the output here. Create indicator. This is sub. Now I'm going to create a new local sequence and send the sub value to the next window. In third window, I'm going to take both the values and multiply. In the first frame I have added them, the second frame I have subtracted them, and I give them a result. Create indicator. Okay. Product. Okay. Let's see how this executes. Let's give some value. Okay, initially let's go to the 0th frame. 8 plus 5 is 13, which is given here. 13 goes here. In frame 2, 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 goes here. 3 into 13 is 39, which is done in the third frame. Okay, now we have, from this video, we have clearly seen experimental usage of stack sequence and flat sequence and advantages of them. Thank you.